thank you so much once again for being here with me on another episode of A Legacy of Love and also Un Legado de Amor, which I also have this podcast in both languages, in English and Spanish, as you know. And I'm so excited of having someone with me today. Her name is Kim, and I cannot wait to hear her powerful story. Hi, Kim. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Just fine. It's an honor, it's a privilege to have you here. As you know, we all have a story, but before that, I would love to know more, and the audience too, what you do for a living and a little bit about yourself.
Well, right now at the moment, I'm just writing. It's mostly writing, and I'm take care of a lot of stray animals. So kind of have like a little, I want to say humane society going on at my house. So
Oh, wow. I sure didn't know that you love animals. I
yes,
also have a heart for animals, which I
yes,
already have a Shih Tzu. I have her right now sitting on my lap. Look, you could probably see her on the other side.
yeah,
Yes. So she sits with me, and I also love animals. I think that
yeah.
our world would not be the same if we didn't have these amazing animals with us.
They would not. It would not be. I mean, they can get you through some. They can get you through some stuff. That's for sure. I mean, I've got my little babies behind me, sitting behind me.
Oh, how sweet. Okay, I
So
didn't
the
know that.
littlest one is I've got three big ones and three little ones.
Oh, wow. So you have six.
So,
I also right now have six. I've had
this
a
time
lot
it's
more.
like, yeah,
Interesting.
I concentrate mostly on the writing now and just kind of trying to get everything, I'm trying to get a foundation set up as well too, for women so that they have a safe space to come and either to talk or to write, just to get what they need to get out. So I'm working on that too. So kind of freelancing everything at the moment.
Oh, okay. Well, that's wonderful. I know that before we were on this recording, you were sharing with me about your story, about your life. And that's what this podcast is all about overcoming, about storytelling. And we would love to hear about your story to help women, men as well, to empower them, to give them that hope.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm from New York originally, and wish I'd stayed there, but I live in Arizona, and I started in probably third grade. I think is when my it make they kind of started picking on me, and I'm a redhead, so I'm already kind of out there, and if you were from my generation, if you didn't weren't dark brunette, or blonde, or they made fun of you. And Pippi Longstocking was real big, so that's a lot of what they called me all through school. And I mean, it got to the point where, I was having, like I said, food thrown at me over the balconies, being pushed around in the bathroom, just being bullied. And, when a lot of people go home, they tell their parents. And the parents, you see on TV, the parents going, hey, handle it. I didn't have that. I had,
Yes.
ignore it. It'll go away. So, and it got worse. And it got to the point where I was thinking of things and I was feeling things that a child shouldn't be feeling.
Uh-huh.
And as an adult, I don't ever want anybody, especially a child, but I don't want anybody, especially women, to have to ever go feel that feeling of being alone and not being good enough and not knowing you're okay, not being okay with yourself. It took me a long time to get there. But I mean, um, I believe that, one obstacle is in, when one door closes, another one opens. And, there's a reason that everything happens, I think, in life, with people. And what the reason is, I don't know, but I believe there's a reason for everything. And whether it be to, to open a door to help somebody or it be to teach yourself something. And I just felt like, you know, I needed to let people know it's okay if didn't have perfect childhood. It's okay if you know if you're feeling bad, but the main reason was because of this news this news show that came on when I was writing, and it just popped up on my screen. It was about a young actor who just committed suicide. And it was like, because they didn't have, and it was like my head just went to, they didn't have anybody to talk to. They made a lot of money. They thought they were, they because they were famous, they couldn't talk to anybody because it would be all over the news or whatever, which is probably what they thought. And they felt like the only way out was to just, leave and permanently. And it's like, that's never an answer. It's just never an answer. I mean, and I truly believe, if me getting through everything, being picked on, being made fun of, my parents not being together, not being good enough for anybody, being told I wasn't good enough, and just all the things that, you endure. And if I could get through it, and the way I got through it was from reading and from animals. And, just a lot of, I put forth all the love I had and all the energy I had into trying to give back what I wasn't getting. And, and if it can help, if it could help one person, I'm okay with that. That's one person that gets to stay, that's going to stay and not have to leave this world, because life's short enough. You
Mhm.
know, I don't ever want anybody to feel like they're alone.
Yes, most definitely. And when you're talking about Pippi Longstockings, I also come from that time, and it might not look like it. I'm also from the 70s, and I remember watching that show. And actually, I was always excited about watching her hair as it was flipping it, and that she was
Yep.
on the air and doing all this fun stuff. And it was just more of a fantasy, but it was a fun adventure. She was very adventurous and fun and. Yes, so I also got to watch that and going through what you went through and experiencing and watching other people also you hear on the news and all this. How were you able to overcome that?
I think it was just determination. Like the more, and I it just from the time I was little, I remember like if my mom said I couldn't do something, no, because I believe you can do anything you want. You just have to, you got to put your mind to it, and you got to somehow. And I don't know, just when I was, it just was like a determination thing. Like I was determined to show these people, you can say what you want about me, but this is what I have to offer, and it's gonna make a difference.
Hmm.
And I think that's what did it, is knowing that I might be able to help somebody else. And that's kind of what got me through, was I was going to take my experiences, and I was going to make sure that no other kid that I knew of was going to get picked on like that. I mean, I started a peer group at my school, and I mean, I dropped out in ninth grade, and I went to put myself through, got my GED, went to college, put myself through college, community college, and, got a degree. And I did it for the sake of making sure that schools were better, with to where kids weren't picked on like they were with me, because it doesn't go away. And I want every person that I see and encounter to have a chance, because everybody does have their own stories, but everybody's got, but a lot of people don't realize that they're never alone either. I mean, you may be a total stranger, but there's always people there to help you. And it's just, I think that's what drove me, was that, I didn't want ever want somebody else to go through what I was going through by themselves, and feel lost and feel alone and scared. And that's what drove me to get through it. There's got to be a way through it. And if you can't go, I never went around anything. I always went right through. So I'm like, but just go right through it. Some people go around things and just kind of sweep it. I'm one of those. It won't go. You got to dissect it, go through it, and you're done with it, and then you can learn and move forward. And that's kind of what I did. That's just kind of the mentality that I had to have. And it was, I mean, it was very lonely. It was very, very, very lonely. But, I mean, reading, I did a lot of reading.
Hmm.
So, and subjects that interested me, even though people would make fun of me, and they, and it would be bad. I would cry, and I would go home, and I'd go, okay, how can I make sure that this doesn't happen to somebody else? Or what can I do different with me so that I don't do that to somebody else? And that's kind of how I got through it.
What would you tell someone that's actually battling with this?
That they're not alone, and that it's okay. It's, oh, you don't, I mean, a lot of people try to hide it. A lot of people try to, they don't, they try to fit it. Don't be a people pleaser. Don't be yourself, be your authentic who you are, because it's okay. You're okay. I mean, you're a person, you're a human being, you have a heart, and you breathe, which means that you matter.
Yes,
So
you do
don't let
matter.
anybody tell you that you don't, because you do.
Yes, and I know that you have books. I know that, as you said, that you're writing right now. What's the name of your book or your books?
It's who am I really? Do you know? And it's just, like I said, I didn't know until, you know, I got older. I was kind of always, the stereotypical yes, no, okay, yeah, I was just going, I would go with the flow, kind of just keep everybody happy. So I wasn't that person to get picked on. I was still kind, and I think it just, you know, the book, it just explains kind of how I got there, and the encounters that I had, and how I just kind of one day I woke up and was just like, I can't do this anymore. You know what I
Most
mean? It was just
definitely.
like, I can't. I just, I couldn't make a decision to save my life without going, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? You know, and as much as it's good, that's not the way that you should live your life. It should be, what do you think? You know what I mean? Like, not what somebody else, but what do you think? What do you feel? How do you think you should handle this? Or what do you think you should do for you?
How could people contact you? Do you offer
Um,
services?
my email address, which I can leave with you, if they need to, and if they just, if they need somebody, if somebody needs someone to talk to and they don't have anybody to talk to, I'm more than happy to listen. Yeah, you don't
Could you
need to know
spell
you.
out
I
your
mean,
email address? Could you do that for us, please?
yep, I sure can. Okay. Um, it's Kimberly Conte at atomicmail.io.
Okay, that's great. And do you offer any services?
Um, I don't at the moment. I'm just getting this foundation I've been working on up and running, so I'm not quite yet. But I mean, I will listen. You know, if you need somebody, shoot me an email. I check it throughout the day, all the time. I
Uh-huh.
mean, and I answer everything, every email I get that requires an answer. So I just don't ever want anybody to think they're alone, and that there's no way that they can make it, because there is a light at that end, at the end of that tunnel. You
Uh-huh.
will see that light. You will see it. It may be hard for you to get there. I mean, and you will have obstacles, but you know, nothing. I don't think anything is handed down that can't be that can't be managed. You know
Most
what I mean?
definitely, most definitely. What would your last message be to the audience, to someone that is facing this? Because I know that you have a story and you've actually experienced suicide.
Yeah. Um, I would say there's no reason. Life is too short. It's just it's too short, and there's too many people out there that can love you and can listen to you and can help you and can understand you, for you to just go to that end, because when you're gone, and you're going to miss so much. I mean, there's so much, and there's so much good out there in the world. you know if it's because you're alone and you think you're going, nobody else can relate to what you're going through, you're wrong. They can. There's always somebody that can help, that can listen to you. And I'm not a celebrity. I don't have a lot of money, so it's not like, oh, it was easy for her, because no, it was very hard for me. I mean, I was alone. I did a lot of it alone. A lot of it, even though I'm married, a lot of it my husband didn't quite understand. So I did a lot of it alone. I did a lot of soul searching alone. Got through it, a lot of it alone, just counting on the fact that if I did get through it, I could help somebody else and let them know, what? I've suffered the loss of a child. I have gone through, I've gone through COVID. I've been homeless, living in a vehicle. I mean, I've had people, do, say define, family things about me. I mean, just because they, for whatever reason, you're typical. But I mean, I got through it because, you know, it's just, if you wake up in the morning breathing, that's a blessing. And you were given that for a reason. Don't, don't take that for granted, and don't choose to take that gift away from yourself just because there's always somebody out there. And if you can't find anybody, there's always me. You know what I mean? So and it just, that's what I would say. Don't, it's not a place that, when you're ready to go, and you're being called to go, you'll go. But I feel like, who are we to say it's time, we're done? You know what I mean? It's just, it's not, there's no reason for it. There's too much beauty in the world for you to decide to go that route.
Most definitely, and that you've gone through that and you're a survivor, and that you actually shared before the recording that you attempted several times
Yep.
of ending your life, but you didn't. And I think that there is this higher power that definitely knew and knows, He's the only one that could take our life, honestly. And I think that he has a plan over your life, and it's very clear. It is true because you're married, now you have a family, you love animals, you've accomplished your career, your degree, and now you're working on all these amazing dreams. And as an author, so if I'm bringing all these things to share, are because and people and loved ones that you have around you is that you were if you would have just left that way, imagine all the sadness around your family and all those people around and your the child and your husband and all that you would have been left out because
Yep.
there's just so much to offer. So if you're actually battling with something like that, please reach out to Kimberly. And also, if you're like, hi, but no, I feel a little bit embarrassed or shy, give yourself that opportunity to meet someone that will definitely understand where you're coming from because they've actually been there. And several times she wanted to end her life, but you know what? There was something more to her life. It was just not just walking off and letting your life go because there's something special coming around the corner that I always share on this podcast and on my live videos as well. Don't take your life for granted. Appreciate every minute of it and try to live it the fullest, like Kimberly has, and how she's actually been able to fulfill so many wonderful blessings that God had in store for her. And also, there's other places that you can, because you're like, oh, I don't know. There's a lot of help out there, and they actually are willing to help you free of
Hmm.
charge just so you and start googling and start researching, which I actually did when I went through so many things too myself. And there's a lot of resources, a lot of help out there, but also if you have the opportunity, which you already do by being on this show, reach out to Kimberly. I know that she will most likely and most definitely help you to see the best out of those dark moments because there's always something good, even in those dark moments, right?
Yeah, there is, and I know a lot of the reason that a lot of people don't reach out when they're in that state of mind is because they're embarrassed or they don't want to be judged, and it's something that is not for me to do. It's not for me to judge you. It's for me to listen to you, to let you know you're not alone and to support you. So
Yes.
if that's a reason that you don't want to come forward or you haven't come forward, don't let that hold you back because you know what? You're here for a reason. Find out what that reason is. Don't cut yourself short and just give up. I mean,
Exactly. Exactly. Most definitely. You're very right when you're saying that because no, don't cut yourself short. That's the right word. Because there's so much for you. And, you might want to be finishing your degree or you might have all these dreams that you want. Why would you do that when
yeah,
you have just so much to think about and plan ahead for your life and don't take your life for granted. And once again, I really appreciate you being here with me today, Kimberly. And it's such a blessing to watch you and see that even though there was those hard times, that you were willing to fight and willing to continue pressing on and most of all, seeking, trying to get help, trying to rely on our higher source that we know that is God, and just giving him the opportunity for him to come in and transform those thoughts into something different. So allowing the Lord to come into your life will actually be the answer to so much adversity. I would say to every adversity because I
yeah,
know that He is a good God and I know that He has amazing plans. And Kimberly is a testimony, a witness that there is a God, and as well as myself, I know that there is a God. So I hope
there
you
is.
are willing to open your heart and allow our Daddy God to come in and change and transform your current situation. So, with that said, thank you so much for being here with me, Kimberly, and I wish you the very best, all the blessings and all the success. And I think that that's already happening. There's no question about it. Thank you for coming here with me today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.